Hello everyone, I'm Gayatri Chadwa, mother of two beautiful daughters. One is almost 6 years old and the other one is almost 1. On this breastfeeding week, the topic or the theme for this year is protect breastfeeding. And for me, breastfeeding is something that is very close to my heart because during my first child, I faced quite a few issues while breastfeeding, and though we overcome them and she did feed for almost 2 years, during my second one I was determined that I want to exclusively breastfeed. Both my daughters are born a little early. The first one was at just 36 weeks and the second one was born PREMIE at 34 weeks. There were a lot of feelings within me that I felt like I might not be able to breastfeed my 34-weeker, because again, what we hear a lot of times that preemies don't latch, you cannot feed them, you cannot give them breast milk, they are given only formula. But luckily I had already spoken to my doctors and I had a good support system behind me. When my husband was on board for breastfeeding, my doctor was on board to let me breastfeed immediately. And though we faced certain issues when my daughter had to have a stomach wash immediately after being born, I was still allowed to breastfeed first. Even though she was a preemie, so we had issues where her glucose was monitored every hour at the dot, and it was necessary that her glucose levels are maintained to a certain level. So almost 6, 7, 8 hours post delivery, I was exclusively breastfeeding her. There came a point where the glucose levels unfortunately dropped down and the doctors requested me that she needs to be given some amount of formula. And that's when I consulted with my lactation consultants. I spoke to my family and we decided that for the baby, it's okay to give some formula. But then again, I was very well advised that first it's going to be a direct latch and then there will be formula, whatever she takes. And it was hardly 5 ml or something that was given to her. Though we did make 30 ml of it, I was never forced to feed all the 30 ml to my daughter. I just fed her whatever was necessary, and because I was very adamant that I want to breastfeed and not go the formula route, even my doctor supported me in a way that by the time on the third day when we left for home, they made sure that I was the baby was directly latching and we were breastfeeding more or less exclusively. Even after when we came home, she had jaundice, and to a very potentially almost borderline, you can say, where they say that she needs to be given the light therapy, but we didn't reach that point. So I had heard that if it's jaundice, a lot of people say that you cannot breastfeed or you cannot you have to give formula. But for me, I faced a very different opinion and support from the people around me, where instead of giving formula, I was told to express my milk and feed more frequently. So breast milk wouldn't harm the baby even in case of jaundice, was what I was given the advice, and I was expressing it. My baby also did not regain her birth weight immediately in the 15 days. So that was a cause of concern to the doctors. But again, as I was advised that because I was very adamant that I won't start formula, I was then told to pump milk, express it at every hour like a ritual, and feed my baby measured breast milk, as to we have to measure how much milk she is consuming. So it was kind of a ritual for almost 2 months. When she had regained her birth weight and crossed more to the 3 kgs mark, her lowest weight was 2.2. And we were told that she has to at least gain till 3 to make sure that you can stop this pumping sessions, and she starts and she has to grow. So we went through a lot of ups and downs, wherein we were measuring her weight every 5 days, every weekly, or all of that was happening. But being strong on my point of breastfeeding her exclusively, I was not forced to give formula, because even I made it very clear to my doctors that I'm ready to express milk and feed it. So then I was advised to feed after every feeding, like after latching every time, I had to measure the milk top that she drinks, if she drinks it. And she did in many of the cases, because but then it was a measured thing, so we had to measure and feed as much. At least I was told to give her 30 to 40 ml on top this thing, and she did. By the time she was almost 1.5 months, we had reduced the pumping sessions and top feeds to almost twice or thrice a day, and she was till then exclusively feeding. Another thing that I noticed was my elder one being lactose intolerant. I was a little vigilant with my younger one, and I could see that there was some issues happening. She was having some crying, a lot of crying happening and all. So I again spoke to my pediatrician, and we came to a conclusion: I will stop dairy in my intake. And like a miracle, within 3-4 days, my daughter started sleeping again. Her weight gain again came back to normal. It was all good. So support system is what is more important as you start your journey towards breastfeeding. I would just say that be open and communicate your desires and your requests to everybody. Make sure you have a support system around you. Your partners, your in-laws, your parents, all of them need to be on the same page when it comes to breastfeeding. If you feel somebody in the family is not well versed with the new norms and the new recommendations by WHO and the in general by the lactation consultants, please make sure you take them for the appointments with you, so that the doctors themselves can tell them and explain them, because it's exclusive breastfeeding is recommended till the age of 6 months. The first 6 months of the baby's life is exclusive breastfeeding. No top feed, no honey, no milk, nothing, no water also. And no cow's milk or sugar, jaggery, any added sweeteners till the age of 1. Even no salt till the age of 1. So please follow these norms. The studies show there are a lot of benefits of following these. My baby is almost 1 now, and still we have started our weaning journey after 6 months. But breastfeeding still remains her primary source of nutrition till she reaches 1 year of age. So build your support system well. Make your plan of your delivery. If you are an expecting mother, please make sure you convey to the doctors what is that you want. You want to breastfeed your baby immediately after the baby is born. Even before they clamp and cut the cord, you can actually begin your journey for breastfeeding. It is possible, and it is very much done in many of the countries and with many of the patients. Unless there are any complications at the time of delivery, just still make sure that your baby can be breastfed. You can express your milk. You can feed that through a syringe. If at all your baby is very low weight at birth, you can still breastfeed them. You can still express the milk and feed them through syringe. It is possible. So please don't give up and continue to pump out milk. And if you are adamant on your point that you want to exclusively breastfeed your baby, your doctors do listen. So don't blame it completely, and do your research well. Set up your support system well. A request to be open to your partners, your family members about your wish to breastfeed, and take it from there, because that is one of the best gifts that you can give your child. The first nutrition, pure liquid gold as it is called. Please make sure to protect. Let's all vow to protect breastfeeding and help mothers, new mothers, expecting mothers around us to understand the importance and the need for breastfeeding, because it's not just important for the baby, but it is equally important for the mother, for the mental, emotional and physical well-being of the mother also. So let's all vow today on this breastfeeding week to support breastfeeding in as much way possible. Thank you so much.